Yes, I love Jaja. Yes, I love him. I love Jaja. Yes, I love him. I'll give thanks and praises to Jah every day. I'll give thanks and praises to him in every way. 'Cause he give me the moon and the star, the sun, the rainy day, even the birds that sing with sweet refrain. Yes, I love Jaja. Yes, I love him. Yes, I love Jaja. Yes, I love him. He make hard times solve for me and rough time disappear. He even put me sitting on a higher tree. That's why I love Jaja. Yes, I love him. Yes, I love Jaja. Yes, I love him. I'll give thanks and praises to Jah every day. I'll give thanks and praises to him in every way. 'Cause he give me the moon and the star, the sun, the rainy day, even the birds that sing with sweet refrain. Yes, I love Jaja. Yes, I love him. Yes, I love Jaja. Yes, I love him. I love Jaja. Yeah, I love Jah. Whoa, I love Jah. I love Jah. Ooh. Yeah. Whoa.
I want to say shalom and blessings to all my brothers and sisters. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you had a blessed day. I want to welcome everybody to this segment of Let Us Read, where we're going to be picking it up where we left off last night, dealing with the book of Enoch. Um, in this segment, we're going to be dealing with more of the background history of the fallen angels and the flood. All right, remember, we're going to be reading through this whole document. And the reason that we're reading through this document is because when we looked at the history yesterday, we saw that according to the record, the book of Enoch was the first record. Enoch, our forefather, was the first among men to learn writing, wisdom, and knowledge. And so the Most High revealed the beginning of times all the way to the end time judgment. And he wrote down a testament for all the children of men. And so we're just reviewing the record to see what we can find out in light of everything that we've been coming into revelation wise, understanding who the Most High's chosen are, understanding what the Most High has determined for his chosen from the beginning. And all of these things are confirmed in the prophets and in the apostles. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to our Heavenly Father. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to his Son, Yehoshua HaMashiach, whom the world know as Jesus the Christ, our Redeemer, our Elohim, and our Lord. I want to give our praises, honor, and glory to the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, the Spirit of comfort, the Spirit of truth, the one and only divine Elohim. All praises be unto him. There is no other. I want to say shalom and blessings to everybody in the chat. Not many people in the chat tonight. Got the brother Jason Phillip. Shalom and blessings, bro. Good to see you as always in the chat. Brother Jason is one of the brothers who supports the channel a lot, gives a lot of encouraging words, and you know that's much appreciated, bro. Always good to see you in the chat. And as always, got my love in the chat. Shalom and blessings, Sister Shibriya. Good to see you in the chat as well. As always, got the brother Jason Camphor in the chat. Good to see you, bro. Hope you had a blessed day. So this is a good way to wind down. You know, I know a lot of brothers and sisters are laying down and getting ready to get up and go to work in the morning. And this is a good way to end the day. Shalom and blessings, Sister Yaz. Good to see you in the chat. Got the Sister Trust Cafe in the chat as well. Shalom to everybody. Hope y'all had a blessed day. Good to see y'all in the chat. All right. So now I want to give a special shout out to the brothers, Brother Cleo, Brother Bunyard, Brother Kadar, Brother Yash, and Brother Hal, the Salt of the Earth family. And of course, we all know that everybody's a part of the family. But, you know, these brothers are the respective heads of the panels, and I want to shout out to them. Hope them brothers having a good day today. Shalom, Cool J. Good to see you in the chat. Hope you had a blessed day, Mr. Thorpe 69. Shalom and blessings to you. Good to see you in the chat. Before we get into anything, I want to remind everybody about our other platforms. You have Kingdom Conversations, Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Central, hosted by Brother Cleo. You have also Wake Up Jacob, Fridays, 7:30 p.m. Central. All right. And you can adjust that to whatever respective times you're under, depending on where you are. Excuse me. But these are the central times. All right. Also, you have Brother Kadar's YouTube channel. Excuse me. Brothers and sisters who haven't or aren't aware of that, go over and subscribe to his channel. Brother has a lot of nice fellowships, a lot of nice builds over there on that channel. So go over and subscribe to that channel, and also sub, and subscribe to this channel and share as well. Hit the notification buttons for everybody who wants to get the notifications. Shalom and blessings, Sister Cece. Good to see you in the chat. Hope you had a blessed day. Hope all is well. Sister Cindy Carr, shalom and blessings to you. Hope you had a good day. Also, if you haven't, go over and visit the website, truehebrew.com. Get you something nice sweatshirt, t-shirt. I want to thank everybody who has went over to the site and supported the site and given feedback on everything regarding that. For anybody who has any issues, feel free to email us and let us know what those issues are. I'm going to post the emails up here shortly. Hold on one second. Yeah, so go over and check out the site, truehebrew.com. And also, I want to thank everybody who has been participating in the giveaways as well. And we're going to keep proceeding with that as we go along with the giveaways. But I want to thank everybody for that. All right. So on that note, we're going to get into the part 2 of our segment of the reading of Enoch. All right. And so one thing I like to do is, as always, I like to set a good backdrop, so we can understand what we're dealing with. Yesterday, when we started, we saw that the book of Enoch opened up with prophecy. And we tied that prophecy to the book of Jude. And we also showed a lot of things concerning the end times that precepts with a lot of what we read in the Old Testament. And so I want to revisit a couple of points before we continue, or as we're continuing into this rather. I want to show a couple of points. Yesterday, when we dealt in the book of Enoch, we read some things from the first chapter down to the 5th chapter dealing with the elect. And so I want to revisit that. In chapter 1, it talks about the words of the blessing of Enoch, wherewith he blessed the elect and righteous. All right. So he's talking about the elect and the righteous who will be living in the day of tribulation. All right. When you read Jeremiah 30, it talks about the time of Jacob's trouble, but at the same time, Jacob being saved out of it. All right. So we see that the elect is mentioned a lot. The elect is mentioned a lot throughout this book, particularly in passages that I've already read myself. But within this first chapter, you see the elect mentioned a whole lot right here in verse 3. Concerning the elect, I said and took up my parable. Concerning them, the Holy Great One will come forth from his dwelling. All right. So we know this is talking about Mashiach returning. All right. Everybody talking about, or everybody knows rather, of the return of Jesus, quote unquote. All right. But a lot of people are not aware of the true details about the return of Mashiach. When he's coming to destroy a lot of people and to destroy nations. All right. But concerning the elect, All right. He said, I took up my parable concerning them. The Holy Great One will come forth from his dwelling. All right. Let's go down. In verse 8, it says, but with the righteous, he will make peace. This is a continuation of what we read in verse 3 about how he's coming to make judgment and destroy the nations. And it says in verse 7, and the earth shall be wholly rent in sunder, and all that is upon the earth shall perish. And there shall be a judgment upon all men. But with the righteous, he will make peace and will protect the elect. All right. Let's go down some more. All right. This is verse 7, verse 6. All right. Verse 6 is divided up into divisions, subdivisions. It says, well, actually, this is verse 7. All right. It says, before the elect, there shall be light and joy and peace, and they shall inherit the earth. All right. He's going to judge the wicked. Before the elect, he said there's going to be light and joy and peace. All right. I like to highlight this because there's a notion of us being a light to the Gentiles. All right. But when we read the scripture, we constantly see the theme of the light, us being brought to our light. All right. And it says, before the elect, there shall be light and joy and peace. We actually did a discussion on that too, dealing with being a light to the Gentiles and what that's all about. But, and then there should be bestowed upon the elect wisdom. In Sirach chapter 24, we show you who the spirit of wisdom was allotted to. It was allotted to the seed of Jacob for an inheritance. All right. And so that's it on that. The reason I wanted to revisit that is because we saw the constant theme of the elect. All right. So now this is Isaiah 43. Let's find out who the elect is referring to, because we have to also remember that Israel was not a nation during Enoch's time. However, Enoch foresaw Israel as a nation in the end times. All right. And he also saw the beginning of times as well. But who are the elect? All right. I want to start in Isaiah 43. In verse 1, it says, but now thus saith Yahuwah that created thee, O Yaakov. This is Jacob. If you're reading from a KJV version, it says Jacob right here. So this is Jacob. And he that formed thee, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed thee. All right. This was written when Isaiah was in captivity, but he's saying that I have redeemed thee. This is prophecy. It says, I have called thee by thy name, thou art mine. All right. So when it comes to Israel as a nation, the Most High's chosen people, Jacob. All right. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. I'm doing this for people who are just getting to this channel and learning, you know. But Jacob in the Bible, his name was changed to Israel. Israel had 12 sons. Each one of his sons represents a tribe, because each one of his sons had children. Their children had children, so forth and so on, until Israel grew into a nation. But the Most High is saying right here that thou art mine. You'll never see or hear him say this about any other people in the Bible. All right. For I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name. Thou art mine. All right. We finding out who the elect are. Let me see. It says, when thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee, and through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. For I am Yahweh thy Elohim, the Holy One of Israel. All right. I made the point before that we are the only people. Well, let me say it like this. All the nations have gods and they serve their gods. But we are the only people whose God is of the people. You'll never see any other nation's God claim the people. Our Elohim is saying, I am the Holy One of Israel, thy Savior. I gave Egypt for thy ransom, Cush and Sabah for thee, since thou wast precious in my sight. Thou hast been honorable, and I have loved thee. This is another thing right here. People say God loves everybody, but nowhere in the Bible will you see or hear him say that he loves anybody but Israel. This is one place. Since thou wast precious in my sight, thou hast been honorable, and I have loved thee. Therefore will I give men for thee and people for thy life. All right. This is something that every black man, so-called Negro man, Negro woman need to understand. All right. The very God of creation that created heaven and earth chose us to be his people. He chose us to be his inheritance. Out of all the people on the earth he created out of Adam, he chose him one people. All right, and we are the descendants of those people. You'll never hear him say or see him say he loved anybody other than Israel in the Bible. No, people will go to John 3:16, but John 3:16 has to be qualified more. All right, has to be understood more. I have loved thee, therefore will I give men for thee and people for thy life. This is talking about what he's going to do when he delivers us and how he's going to give all the nations over to us for our inheritance. He says, fear not, for I am with thee. I will bring thy seed from the east and gather thee from the west. I will say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my sons from afar and my daughters from the ends of the earth. This is all prophetic, speaking of when the Most High gathers us from all the places he scattered us. No, our people are scattered into all the kingdoms of the earth, but this is him saying he gonna bring all his sons and daughters back. Even everyone that is called by my name, for I have created him for my glory. I have formed him. Yea, I have made him. All right. Verse 7 is speaking of the same people is speaking of in verse 1. Jacob, for he that formed thee, O Israel. All right. Yahweh that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel. Same thing in verse 7. I have formed him, yea, I have made him. The Most High made and formed our people for his glory. This is why we excel in everything. We're pretty much the model. Everybody want to mimic everything we do, but they want to not have anything to do with us. It says, bring forth the blind people that have eyes and the deaf that have ears. Right? How many of our people are blind, but they have eyes to see? Deaf, they have ears to hear, but they still deaf because they don't understand the word. This is who he's saying, bring all of them. Let all the nations be gathered together, and let the people be assembled. Who among them can declare this and show us former things? Let them bring forth their witnesses, that they may be justified. Or let them hear and say, it is true. So in other words, this is talking about people nowadays who speaking against the Most High's word, saying the Bible ain't true. The Bible come out of Egypt, right? The Bible is mimicked from all these different things. Okay, well, if that's the case, anybody who has that belief, let them come forth and declare the things that's happening in the earth now and what the end of those things are. And see if those things be true. He said, ye are my witnesses, saith Yahweh, and my servant whom I have chosen. We keep saying Israel is the Most High's servants, and the nations will be Israel's servants. All right, ye are my witnesses, saith Yahweh, and my servant whom I have chosen, that ye may know and believe me and understand that I am he. Before me there was no Elohim formed, neither shall there be after me. I'm going to skip over to 44. In 1 it says, yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. All right. Thus saith Yahweh that made thee and formed thee from the womb. All right. How many times we read in the Dead Sea Scrolls that he created the just from the womb for the time of goodwill so that they can hearken to the covenant. Thus saith Yahweh that made thee and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, O thou Jeshurun, whom I have chosen. All right, this is not talking about everybody. The Most High is speaking to a specific people and letting them know, fear not when I bring these judgments on the world, because I formed you to be my servants. All right. Excuse me. 45. I'm going to pick it up at 3. It says, and I will give thee treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I, Yahweh, which called thee by thy name, am Elohim of Israel. All right. The God of the Bible is the God of a people. He's the God of Israel. All right. He says, which call thee by thy name. I am the Elohim of Israel, for Jacob, my servant's sake, and Israel, mine elect. So we've been reading all this time that Israel was a chosen, Israel was formed by the Most High. Now we finally get to see Jacob, my servant's sake, right? And Israel, mine elect. I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me, right? Israel, mine elect. So when we get over here to Enoch, the first chapter, and we read all the way through, like we just read about the elect, all right? We can go all the way to the beginning when he said the words of the blessing of Enoch wherewith he blessed the elect and righteous who will be living in the day of tribulation. All right. When all the wicked and godless are to be removed. So this is dealing with an elect people. And that elect people is Israel. Israel, mine elect. We showed you, brothers and sisters, once how Enoch was one of the progenitors of the Israelites and how his lineage lines up with the Israelites, showing how he was basically from that divine lineage, starting with the Most High and ended with Mashiach, an Israelite lineage in the earth. So in this second part, we're going to get into, this is dealing with the fall of the angels, the demoralization of mankind, the intercession of the angels. All right. One of the things that we starting to see now is a lot of truth springing up from the earth. There's a lot of evidence of giants, skeletons, and different things like that in the earth. And some of these things seem sort of far-fetched in a way to people. But simply put, the world during ancient times was a different world. All right. What we're going to read is about a time when the sons of God, or the sons of Elohim, all right, better known as the angels. And just to confirm that, let me see. Where is it at? We're talking about the sons of God. But we're gonna prove it anyway as we go along. I'm just trying to see if I remember where it was in here. But during the days of Noah, all right, we all know about the flood, all right. And during the days of Noah, when we read Genesis 6, matter of fact, let's go there first. I forgot where it was in that first section. Let's go to Genesis 6 first. All right, I'm right here. During the days of Noah, there was a lot of wickedness in the earth. The earth had become so corrupt that the Most High decided to destroy the earth by flood. And one of the reasons the earth became corrupt is because during the days of Noah, or during that era, right when Moses was born and growing up, the sons of Elohim, or the angels, during those days came down and they found certain women to take as wives, or in other words, they came down and they had sex with these women. All right. Now the Bible tells us that angels can appear as men, but we're going to get some details on this. This is dealing with the fall of the angels and the demoralization of mankind and the intercession of the angels. All right. Genesis 6, and it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of Elohim saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. All right, so the sons of Elohim is speaking of what we know now, or what we would call now the fallen angels. These angels were called also the watchers. All right. And what we're going to find out is that there are a lot of things that took place through these watchers when they saw the daughters of men. All right. In other words, they saw that these women looked good and they decided to take them as wives. All right. This is one reason why the Bible warns the women against adorning themselves in a manner to confuse the minds of men, or to elevate their beauty in a way to cause men to lust after them, because the beauty of a woman can cause an angel to fall. And this is what happened. All right. It says, and Yahweh said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for he also is flesh, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. All right. So the Most High cut the years down. We're going to get deeper into some of this stuff. It's ironic how Genesis, the 6th chapter, or how the Bible rather only gives you a small amount of information dealing with Enoch, for him to be such a righteous man and walk with the Most High. But it says there were Nephilim in the earth in those days. All right. If you read in the regular KJV, the word right here says giants. All right. So it will read there were giants in the earth in those days. And also after that, when the sons of Elohim came in unto the daughters of men, the sons of Elohim came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. All right. We're going to find out what all of this means. Basically, what this is saying is that when these angels, the sons of Elohim, came down and slept with these women, they bore them children. All right. And the children that they gave birth to became a race of giants, or Nephilim. All right. It says, and Elohim saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented Yahweh that he made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And Yahweh said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beasts and creeping things, and the fowls of the air, where it repented me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of Yahweh. All right. So Genesis 6 gives us somewhat of a brief background of what was taking place during the days of Noah. And this is the after effect of the sons of Elohim taking the daughters of men and sleeping with them and creating this offspring of giants in the earth. All right. And like I said, you have archaeologists, scientists finding a lot of those things now. All right. You can look it up online. I'm going to show a quick video dealing with some of these things. All right. But real quick, let's go over to Jubilees. All right. Let's see what we can find out about this time in the book of Jubilees. All right. This is, I'm not good with Roman numerals, but the fall of the angels and their punishment, the deluge foretold. All right. And it came to pass when the children of men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the angels of God saw them on a certain year of this Jubilee, that they were beautiful to look upon, and they took themselves wives of all whom they chose, and they bare unto them sons. They were giants. All right. So in this account, is blatantly telling you that these sons of Elohim, all right, let me go back. That was right here. The sons of Elohim, right? But over here in the Jubilees account is blatantly telling you that these were the angels, all right? That the angels of God saw them on a certain year of this Jubilee, that they were beautiful to look upon. Excuse me. Let me see. And they took themselves wives of all whom they chose, and they bare unto them sons, and they were giants. Lawlessness increased on the earth, and all flesh corrupted its way, alike men and cattle and beasts and birds, and everything that walked on the earth. All of them corrupted their ways and their orders, and they began to devour each other. And lawlessness increased on the earth, and every imagination of the thoughts of all men was thus evil continually. All right. Once again, giving us a different account, detailed account of the same thing that we read in Genesis 6. Now, another thing I want to mention is, remember what Mashiach said about the end time. He said that it will be just like the days of Noah. All right. Right before his return, that it will be just like the days of Noah. All right. Shalom, brother Eric Tinsley. I see you in the chat. Hope you're doing well, bro. But he said, I'm not going to read that verse again. I'm going to read 3 now. All right. Now we see a more detailed account of what we're dealing with. It says, and God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, and all flesh corrupted its orders, and all that were upon the earth had wrought all manner of evil before his eyes. And he said, I shall destroy man and all flesh upon the face of the earth, which I have created. But Noah found grace before the eyes of the Lord. All right. So once again, another detailed account letting you know that these angels came down and slept with these women, all right, and produced a race of giants in the earth. And it caused evil and lawlessness to increase in the earth. All right. So now let's get, this is the book of Jasher. All right. My fault. Book of Jasher. I think this is what I want right here. Okay. It says, and when Enoch had ascended into heaven, all the kings of the earth rose and took Methuselah his son and anointed him, and they caused him to reign over them in the place of his father. And Methuselah acted uprightly in the sight of God, and his father Enoch had taught him. And he likewise during the whole of his life taught the sons of men wisdom, knowledge, and the fear of God. And he did not turn from the good way, either to the right or to the left. But in the latter days of Methuselah, the sons of men turned from the Lord. All right, so now it's starting to get evil. In the latter days of Methuselah, which was right before Noah was born and right before the flood occurred. All right. I think Methuselah, after Methuselah died, is when the flood actually took place, because the Most High wanted all of the righteous forefathers prior to that to be dead. He didn't want them to witness that. But it says, they corrupted the earth, they robbed and plundered each other, and they rebelled against Elohim, and they transgressed, and they corrupted their ways and would not hearken to the voice of Methuselah, but rebelled against him. And Adonai was exceedingly wroth against them. And Adonai continued to destroy the seed in those days, so that there was neither sowing nor reaping in the earth. So it was so wicked, the Most High started to destroy the seeds in the earth. So food was scarce in those days. Right, it says, for when they sowed the ground in order that they might obtain food for their support, behold, thorns and thistles were produced, which they did not sow. And still the sons of men did not turn from the evil ways, and their hands were still extended to do evil in the sight of Elohim, and they provoked Elohim, Adonai, with their evil ways. And Adonai was very wroth and repentant that he made man. All right, same instance. But what we're reading is the actual after drop of what those fallen angels brought on the earth. Now wickedness is increased in the earth. All right. It says, and he thought to destroy. And did I finish reading that? Yeah. And he thought to destroy and annihilate them, and he did so. In those days when Lamech, the son of Methuselah, was 160 years old, Seth, the son of Adam, died. And all the days that Seth lived were 912 years, and he died. And Lamech was 180 years old when he took Ashmore, the daughter of Elishah, the son of Enoch, his uncle, and she conceived. And at that time, the sons of men sowed the ground, and a little food was produced. Yet the sons of men did not turn from their evil ways, and they trespassed and rebelled against Elohim. And the wife of Lamech conceived and bare him a son at that time, at the revolution of the year. And Methuselah called his name Noah, saying, the earth was in his days at rest and free from corruption. And Lamech, his father, called his name Menachem, saying, this one shall comfort us in our works and miserable toil in the earth, which Elohim had cursed. All right, verse 14 is speaking of the birth of Noah, but it also says that Lamech gave him another name. All right, Menachem. You brothers and sisters, remember this because this may be a question for a giveaway. All right. We read a lot of things on here. A lot of information is brought out. So mark this verse down. All right. This is the book of Jasher, chapter 4, verse 14. What was Noah's other name? All right. It said, this one shall comfort us in our works and miserable toil in the earth, which Elohim had cursed. And the child grew up and was weaned and went in the ways of his father Methuselah, perfect and upright with Elohim. And all the sons of men departed from the ways of Adonai in those days, and they multiplied upon the face of the earth with sons and daughters. And they taught one another their evil practices, and they continued sinning against Adonai. And every man made unto himself a god, and they robbed and plundered every man his neighbor, as well as his relative. And they corrupted the earth, and the earth was filled with violence. And their judges and rulers went to the daughters of men and took wives by force from their husbands according to their choice. All right, so right here in this account, it says their judges and their rulers, because I told you another term for those angels were the watchers. We're going to read that when we get in Enoch. It says, and their judges and rulers went to the daughters of men and took their wives by force from the husbands according to their choice. And the sons of men in those days took from the cattle of the earth and the beasts of the field and the fowls of the air, and taught the mixture of animals of one species with another. So they started to mix species, mix DNA. All right. This is what they were doing in Noah's day before before the Most High destroyed the earth by a flood. And Mashiach said that it will be the same way in the days of Noah. All right. So they mix all of the different animal seeds together to create all of these different hybrid beasts, these offsprings of animals, in order therewith to provoke Adonai. And Elohim saw the whole earth, and it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted its ways upon the earth, all men and all animals. All right. So we can continue. Let me finish this chapter out. Just a few more verses. I'll finish this out. It says, And Adonai said, I will blot out man that I created from the face of the earth, yea, from man to the birds of the air, together with the cattle and beasts that are in the field, for I repent that I made them. And all men who walked in the ways of the Lord died in those days, before the Lord brought evil upon man, which he had declared. For this was from Adonai, that they should not see the evil which Adonai spoke of concerning the sons of men. But Noah found grace in the sight of Adonai, and Adonai chose him as his children to raise up seed from them upon the face of the whole earth. All right, so this is Jasher's account of what took place during the days of Noah as a result of this right here. In this account, it calls them the judges and the rulers. Over here, and in this account, it calls them the sons of Elohim. And in this account, it calls them the angels of Elohim. All right. So now, there's something else I want to bring up real quick, dealing with this issue of the angels sleeping with the women. All right. Let me bring this up real quick. That is in Testament of Reuben. I want to show y'all something. All right. I'm going to start. This is Testament of Reuben, chapter 5. And I'm going to start at verse 5. It says, flee therefore fornication, my children, and command your wives and your daughters, that they adorn not their heads and faces to deceive the mind. All right. So this is not telling women not to adorn yourself or not to make yourself beautiful. This is saying teach your wives and daughters not to adorn themselves as a means to deceive the mind. All right. Because every woman who useth these wiles hath been reserved for eternal punishment. All right. Don't use your beauty, your looks as a means to deceive the minds of men, because the Most High is watching that. He's marking that. He said, every woman who useth these wiles had been reserved for eternal punishment. Why? Why is he saying that? For thus they allured, all right, they allured the watchers who were before the flood. So remember, these angels looked at the daughters of men and saw that they were fair, and they went down and took wives, right? But let's see how it actually happened. It said they allured these watchers, all right, who were before the flood. And there's a passage that we're going to read in Enoch. I forget exactly where it is. Brother Eric might can help me out, but we're gonna come across it where it tells you what happened to the women who laid with these angels, these fallen spirits. All right, how they became what's known as siren spirits. All right, and you're starting to see a lot of that being revealed as well. But check this out. For thus they allured the watchers who were before the flood. For as these continually beheld them, they lusted after them and conceived the act in their mind, right? So these men looked at these women's beauty and they conceived the act of lust in their mind. Let's see what they did. It said, for they changed themselves into the shape of men. Right? What's one of the things we're warned of in the Bible? to be careful how you entertain strangers, for some have entertained angels unaware. All right, you don't know who you dealing with. All right. So this is what these angels did. They changed themselves into the shape of men and appeared to them when they were with their husbands. All right. And the women, lusting in their minds after their forms, gave birth to Nephilim, or giants. For the watchers appeared to them as reaching unto heaven. All right, so this is what we're dealing with right here. Excuse me. These watchers, these fallen angels, these sons of Elohim who lusted after these women and took wives and impregnated these women, and these women gave birth to what was known as the Nephilim. All right, so now, real quick, I want to share something. I want to share something real quick. Before I do, I'm going to share my fair use disclaimer. All right. Fair Use Act disclaimer. This site is for educational purposes only. Fair use. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All right. So check this out. Okay, here we go. Check this out. I'm gonna mute my mic and I'm gonna let this run. Check this out. Now, before I let this play, all right, I want to let y'all know it's some weird things in this video, but what this video is going to reveal is something that I'm going to confirm to you in another passage after this video goes off, dealing with the giants that we read about and what would happen to them as a result of the evil that took place in the earth and the flood that took place. But check this out. Now I'm gonna mute the sound on some of this, and I wanna try to narrate some of this. Let me do that. All right. If you look at this picture here, I don't know if you brothers and sisters remember a live I did with the brother Big Red, and we talked about the same thing we're talking about now, but he brought up a segment about the Petrified Giants. All right. And as you can see right here, this is a mountain, and it looks like a giant body is laid out on the top of the mountain, petrified body, meaning it's been laying there so long that it's solidified into rock. All right. And this is what pretty much fossils are. When they find fossils, that's what they find. Petrified bones of animals that they say lived millions of years ago, which we're finding that that's not true. Most of these animals and things that they find that are petrified on the earth are things that was destroyed during this great flood. All right, one of the reasons that the Most High brought this flood was because of this evil, all right, that was done. And so I'm gonna let it play some more here, and I'm gonna just sort of narrate it through it. As you can see right here, this looks like a face, all right, a nose, a mouth, all right, eyes right here. See that? Let it play some more. All right. This mountain right here is pretty much modeled or looks like a woman or a body. I'm not going to say a woman in particular, but it looks like a body laid out. All right. And so a lot of scientists have confirmed that this is what the case is. All right. And so let's get some more. And these are all over the place. Right here, you see a giant, looks like a giant creature, you know, but it's petrified. So now this is pretty much a cave. All right. Same thing here. This looks like a giant face right here. A lot of these are, if you're looking at it this way, a lot of these are turned to the side. So if you were to turn it back vertical, you know, it would look like a mountain range, but this picture is actually turned to the side. And you can see that it looks like a giant face. Once again, a lot of the mountain ranges we see in certain areas of the world, this is what they are, petrified bodies of the deceased giants who were destroyed during the flood that the Most High sent on the earth. You also see that a lot of mountain ranges look like they're all flat across the top, you know, which is proof that those mountains are tree stumps. Some of those mountains used to be giant trees that were cut. All right, this is why some mountains look like they're flat all the way across the top. Here's another one in Italy. All right, these are all over the world in different places. Vietnam. And there's many more videos like this that give you even more clear ones. Now look at this one right here. All right. You can see the face right here, and all the rest of this is pretty much the body. All right. kind of a far-fetched thought, but what we're going to show you in the text is that this is actually the case. The Most High destroyed and flooded the earth, and everything in it was destroyed except for Noah and his sons and his sons' wives and Noah's wife and those animals that were put onto the ark. So this video right here is kind of brief. Like I said, it's plenty more that give more vivid descriptions. You'll see a lot of this stuff blatantly, and some of them they didn't even include in this video. This is just a brief video showing a few. All right, this is one right here. These are, these are multiple mountain ranges that they turn to the side. All right. These are all turned to the side. So if you were looking at them vertically, you know, you will be looking at a different view. This is a side view of mountains. All right. Now remember, a lot of these creatures come from fallen spirits. You know, some of these creatures, or some of these people, giants rather, that live, were mixtures, all right, of a lot of different things. Let me see, I think that's it. That's probably a Photoshop video. Just more sort of dramatizing it. But what I want to show you now is this. All right, let's get back. All right, this is the Dead Sea Scrolls. All right. Brother Eric say I have a lot of these on the phone. So, you know, you probably got some good ones then. That was just a quick video just to give a backdrop. All right, and check this out. It's the Dead Sea Scrolls. All right, what section is this? Let me get a section title. The Exhortation. All right, if you have the Dead Sea Scrolls, it's under this section, this subtitle, the Exhortation. You can get the Dead Sea Scrolls. You can download them for free, PDF. If you want access to the PDF, you can email us, email me, hebrewstore@gmail.com, and I'll hook you up with a copy of it if you can't find it yourself. So just reach out to me, let me know who you are, that you requesting a copy of the scrolls, and I'll get you taken care of. All right. So this is the Dead Sea Scrolls under the subtitle, The Exhortation. It says, "Hear now, my sons, and I will uncover your eyes, that you may see and understand the works of Elohim, that you may choose that which pleases him and reject that which he hates." All right. He says, where did I go? Okay. "And reject that which he hates, that ye may walk perfectly in all his ways and not follow after thoughts of guilty inclination and after eyes of lust. For through them great men have gone astray, and mighty heroes have stumbled from former times to now." All right. So once again, we're being warned against guilty inclinations, right? Your inclinations are evil tendencies, right? Evil things that you just have to do and you can't sleep until you do them, right? And it says the lust after the eyes of lust. We see this as a constant theme for the men particularly, but also for the women as well. All right, but for the men particularly, falling for eyes of lust, for through them it says great men have gone astray, and mighty heroes have stumbled from former times to now, because they walk in stubbornness of the heart. The heavenly watchers fell. All right. It says, we know who the heavenly watchers were, talking about the angels. How did they fall? It says they were caught because they did not keep the commandments of Elohim, and their sons also fell, right? Remember their sons, talking about their offspring, the race of giants. Their sons also fell, who were tall as cedar trees, and whose bodies were like mountains, right? And all flesh on dry land perished. They were as though they had never been, because they did their own will and did not keep the commandment of their maker, so that his wrath was kindled against them. Through it, the children of Noah went astray together with their kin and were cut off. Right? Talking about all of the wickedness that took place prior to the days of Noah and even after the days of Noah, how wickedness started to increase again all the way up until the time of Abraham. Right? But notice what happened to the children of the watchers, right? Their offspring, which were the giants that were produced. It says that their sons will fall because of their stubbornness and wickedness. The watchers didn't keep the command of the Most High, right? And that command is that the angels were not to cohabitate with women. You know, sexual intercourse was made for the flesh realm, for the man and the woman to reproduce children. All right, angels don't do that. And so because of that, they left their first estate. And what that did was it polluted the bloodline in the earth as well. And so because of this, it said that their sons fell, who were as tall as cedar trees, right? And whose bodies were like mountains. So their bodies became mountain ranges due to the flood that was sent upon the earth. This is why when we look at those pictures, it looks strange, look like bodies. And like I said, there's many more of them that's blatant and clear, and you can't get around it. All right. But on that note, that's some background history on what we're about to get into with the history of the fall. And now we have a better understanding about that. So when we get into the history of it in the book of Enoch, now it'll just, everything will fall right in place for us. And it's also to confirm that the book of Enoch is scripture. All right. This is the record that our forefathers, the patriarchs, read from. Jude quoted from it. All right, our forefather Jude in the New Testament quoted from it. So this is our proof that the book of Enoch is valid and it is scripture. So we're going to take a break. When I come back, we're going to get into the history of the fallen, all right, and the demoralization of humanity. And what else does it say? The intercession of the angels, the fall of the angels, the demoralization of mankind, the intercession of the angels on behalf of mankind, the dooms produced by Elohim on the angels, and the messianic kingdom. All right. I want to say shalom and blessings to all of you brothers and sisters. I want to thank you for joining in. And as always, I hope this is edifying. If you haven't already, go out and check out the website, trueebri.com. Get yourself something nice. Also, Don't forget about our other platforms. We have Kingdom Conversations, hosted by Brother Cleo, Wednesday nights. All right, we have Wake Up Jacob, Fridays, 7:30 p.m. Central. That's Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Central, by the way. All right, this is based on Central Time, so brothers and sisters can work that out depending on where you are. Wake Up Jacob, Friday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Also, go over and subscribe to Brother Kadar's YouTube channel. Another great channel to build and fellowship. Like, sub to this channel as well. And also hit the notification bell. And go check out the website when you get a chance. Shalom and blessings. I'll be right back. Shalom, shalom. Want to give a shout out to my brother Smitty for that track. Once again, anybody who has anything music-wise, anything you want to route to the family and get it put on blast, don't hesitate to send that to me via email, ebrystore@gmail.com. And also we have the other brothers' emails scrolling across the bottom as well. All right, for extra access. All right. Got anything on that note? Anybody have merchandise or anything you want the family to support? You have any revelations, anything you've been dealing with in the scriptures you want to bring out? This is the way to do it, via email, reach out, or whenever we drop the link in the chat, feel free to do it then. All right. Want to say shalom to everybody. Once again, thank you for joining in to this segment. Now we're going to do is we're going to get into the reading for tonight. Let's get that up. All right. It says the fall of the angels, the demoralization of mankind, the intercession of the angels. All right, here we go. It's chapter 6. Excuse me. It says, and it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied, that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, the children of heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said one to another, come and let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and begat us children. All right. And Semjaza, who was their leader, said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty for a great sin. And they all answered and said, let us all answer an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecations, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. So now this account in Enoch is going deeper. All right. It's letting us know the incident that took place with the angels and the women, but now it's giving us the names of these angels. And now it's giving us more insight, letting us know that these angels actually made an oath. They swore an oath. All right. And they bound themselves to mutual imprecations, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. So in other words, they all agreed to do this. It says, then swear they all together and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. All right. So one thing to keep in mind is that not only was this an oath, but this was a secret oath that was done for the purpose of provoking the Most High to anger. All right. So this is the full understanding behind secret oaths. This is the intent of them. So everybody should know that before you involve yourself with anything. All right. It says, and they were in all 200 who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon, and they called it Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And these are the names of their leaders: Simeaz, the leader; Arkiba, Ramiel, Kokabiel, Tamiel, Ramiel, Daniel, Ezekiel, Barakwa, Asel, Amaros, Bartarel, Ananil, Zakiel, Samsapil, Sataril, Turiel, Jamjael, and Sariel. These are their chiefs of tens, and all the others together with them took unto themselves wives, and each chose for himself one, and they began to go in unto them and to defile themselves with them. All right, so it said they went in unto them and they defiled themselves. So you had immortal beings connecting with mortals. All right. And you have also evidence of this if you watch those videos where people talk about getting abducted by aliens and that kind of stuff. All right. There's a lot of women who have testimonies of being abducted by aliens and having sexual encounters. Just to, kind of add some backdrop. It says, and they taught them charms and enchantments. All right. So they laid with these women and they got them pregnant. And he said they taught them charms and enchantments and the cutting of roots and made them acquainted with plants. All right. And they became pregnant and they bare giants whose height was 3,000 ells. Right. So not only did they impregnate these women, it said he taught them charms, enchantments, cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants. All right. So he taught them witchcraft. These angels taught the women witchcraft. All right. And sorcery. That's what all this is pretty much talking about. Charms. He taught them charms and enchantments, cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants. And they became pregnant, and they bare giants whose height was 3,000 ells, who consumed all the acquisitions of men. And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. And they began to sin against the birds and beasts and reptiles and fish, and to devour one another's flesh and drink the blood. Then the earth laid accusation against the lawless ones. All right. So these giants they gave birth to started to pretty much, when it says, where it said they consumed all the acquisitions of men. So they ate all the food, all the animals, used up all the resources. And once they ran out, they started to turn on the people. All right. It says, and Azazel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth and the art of working them, and bracelets and ornaments, and the use of antimony, and the beautifying of eyelids, and of all kinds of costly stones, and all coloring tinctures. And there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray and became corrupt in all their ways. All right, so this angel right here, Azazel, all right, you're going to find out he's the one to be pointed out and singled out. All right. It says, and Azazel taught men to make swords, all right, and knives and shields and breastplates. So this is where your weapons of war come from. He taught them how to make weapons of war. Now, keep in mind also that all these were the secrets of heaven. All right. The Most High, it says that the Most High has an armory. All right. So the Most High is a man of war as well. But these wicked angels taught these things to men prematurely. All right. And it says, He taught them the working of bracelets, all the metals of the earth, right? Bracelets, ornaments, and the use of antimony. All right. Let me find out what that is. I'm going to define that real quick. Antimony. The chemical element of atomic number 51. All right. So basically, he taught them the how to deal with metals. Let me get this out of another version real quick. Give me a second. He said he taught them antimony. All right, so in the Hebrew version, in that's chapter 8. All right. It says, in Azazel, Elohim is stout, goat of departure. That's the meaning of his name. It says he taught the sons of men to make swords, knives, and shields and breastplates, and made known masonry in the earth, and the working of inventions and bracelets and ornaments, and the art of cosmetics, and the beautifying of eyelids, and all kinds of precious stones, and all embroidered works of diverse colors. All right. So not only did Azazel teach the sons of men to make weapons of war and about the metals, it says masonry, but it also talked about cosmetics. It says he taught the sons of men about these things. All right, about the beautifying of the eyelids and all kinds of costly stones and all coloring tinctures. All right. And there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication. All right. So basically, what Azazel taught men was how to kill each other with weapons of war and how to pervert their image. All right. By looking like women. This is what Azazel taught them. As a result, it said there arose much godlessness and they committed fornication. All right. Fornication is talking about all types of sexual immorality, men with men, women with women, men and women with animals, all kind of stuff that the Most High hate. This is what this brought about. It says, and they were led astray and became corrupt in all their ways. Simjaza taught enchantments and root cuttings. All right. Enchantments and root cuttings. That's your witchcraft. Amaros, the resolving of enchantments. Barakil taught astrology. All right. Kokabil, the constellations. So this is where people get into the zodiac signs, using these signs to define people's character. You know, that's what this is. He taught them that astrology, while people worshiping the stars and the constellations. It says Ezekiel, the knowledge of the clouds. Arakil, the signs of the earth. Shamsiel, the signs of the sun. And Sariel, the course of the moon. And as men perished, they cried, and their cry went up to heaven. So all these angels taught these things to men, and these were all secret things. All right, especially when you start getting into this part about the astrology and the constellations. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's in this book. It's either in Jubilees or Jasher, where it talks about who was that? It was you had Shem, Ham, and Japheth. I think it was either Ham or one of Ham's grandsons that found a tablet, and on that tablet it contained it was a tablet of the Watchers. The Watchers recorded all the constellations in the heavens and different things, and this is what they wrote down as a means to give to mankind as a form of worship, so that they would worship them. And Noah's grandson found that tablet, and he kept it a secret from Noah because he didn't want Noah to get upset. All right, and so all of these things are secret things: astrology, the constellations. The people who deep into those things understand what those things are really about. All right, because even in the Bible, it tells you that Solomon had the ability to tell the story of the stars. So they're there for a purpose. All right, but you have astrology and all these different fields of study. That's their brand of dealing with these things. All right. It says, then Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel looked down from heaven and saw much blood being shed upon the earth, and all lawlessness being wrought upon the earth. And they said one to another, the earth made without inhabitant cries, the voice of their crying up to the gates of heaven. And now to you, the holy ones of heaven, the souls of men make their suit, saying, bring our cause before the Most High. And they said to Adonai of the ages, Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings, God of ages, the throne of thy glory standeth unto all the generations of the ages, and thy name holy and glorious and blessed unto all the ages. Thou hast made all things, and power over all things hast thou, and all things are naked and open in thy sight. And thou seest all things, and nothing can hide itself from thee. Thou seest what Azazel hath done, who hath taught all unrighteousness on earth and revealed the eternal secrets which were preserved in heaven, which men were striving to learn. All right. So now, all of this was put on Azazel. And if you read the law, it said that Azazel is the scapegoat, all right, that was sent out into the wilderness once all of the sins was placed on the sacrifice, and Azazel, the scapegoat, was released into the wilderness. So notice it speaks of all of these secrets that were preserved in heaven, which men were striving to learn. This is where all of your secret occults, this is what they're about. They're trying to learn all of the secret things that was preserved in the heavens. All right. It's already been said that the governments, the higher ups, have contact with beings, that's giving them information, giving them, the ins and outs on how to deal with technology and how to use it as a means to, control the populace. But it says in Simjaza, to whom thou hast given authority to bear rule over his associates. And they have gone to the daughters of men upon the earth, and have slept with the women, and have defiled themselves, and revealed to them all kinds of sins. And the women have borne giants. All right, for anybody who say that giants or that angels didn't sleep with women, all right, we read it in multiple accounts, even in the Bible. All right. It says, and the women who have borne giants and the whole earth has thereby been filled with blood and unrighteousness. And now, behold, the souls of those who have died are crying and making their suit to the gates of heaven, and their lamentations have ascended and cannot cease because of the lawless deeds which are wrought on the earth. And thou knowest all things before they come to pass, and thou seest these things, and thou dost suffer them or allow them. And thou dost not say to us what we are able to do to them in regard to these. Then said the Most High, the Holy One, the Holy and Great One, spake, and sent Uriel the son of Lamech, and said to him, Go to Noah, and tell him in my name, hide thyself, and reveal to him the end that is approaching, that the whole earth will be destroyed, and a deluge is about to come upon the whole earth, and will destroy all that is on it. All right, so the Most High sent an angel to reveal this to Noah, that he was getting ready to destroy this whole earth. All right. So now, this is how the Most High operates at times. And this time it was with Noah. And so he sent this angel to reveal to him, or to show him, the destruction that was getting ready to come on the earth. All right. And he says, and now instruct him that he may escape, and his seed may be preserved for all generations of the world. And again, Adonai said to Raphael, bind Azazel hand and foot, and cast him into the darkness, and make an opening in the desert, which is in Dudail, and cast him therein. All right, these all, I don't even know how to pronounce this right. All right, these are all ancient locations on the earth. All right. And so these spirits were bound and cast into remote places in the earth. All right. He says, in place. So he took Azazel, the one who taught men how to make war, weapons of war. Also, he taught men how to, I guess in layman's terms, become drag queens, basically. Become men who dress up like women. So he taught them how to fight, then he taught them how to dress up like women. All right, and this is why when you look at the history of Roman and Greek soldiers, particularly Greek soldiers, it's one of the main things they did. They had a lot of homosexuals in their army. He says, concerning Azazel, all right, bind them hand and foot, cast them into the darkness, and make an opening in the desert, which is in Dudail, cast him therein, and place upon him rough and jagged rocks, and cover him with darkness, and let him abide there forever, and cover his face, that he may not see light. And on the day of the great judgment, he shall be cast into the fire. All right, so cover him up on, and it says place jagged rocks upon him, sharp rocks, and then blindfold him so he can't see the light, and keep him there in that position until the great judgment. All right, then he gonna get cast into the fire. That's his reward for not, or from leaving his original state, his habitation. All right. He said, and heal the earth which the angels have corrupted, and proclaim the healing of the earth, that they may heal the plague, and that all the children of men may not perish, through all the secret things that the watchers have disclosed and have taught their sons. All right. So these secret things, he said that what he said. He says, and that all the children of men may not perish through all the secret things. All right, so this is causing people to perish. All right, when you see this word perish, right, this is not necessarily talking about in a physical sense. All right, we perish when we die, and our souls are condemned to destruction, hell, and destruction. That's when we perish. So a lot of people have sold their souls to be a part of secret things, and it's all for this purpose. All right, they have perished through these secret things that the watchers have disclosed and have taught their sons, and the whole earth has been corrupted through the works that were taught by Azazel. All right, through war, this one angel, he wasn't even the only one that was involved, but he was the main one, because through what he taught, that brought war, death, right, and confusion in the earth. The Most High is not the author of confusion. So when you teach the sons of men about cosmetics and how to beautify their eyelids and all that kind of stuff, all right, that's confusion. That produces confusion, right? It says, and to Gabriel said Adonai, proceed against the bastards and the reprobates, and against the children of fornication, and destroy the children of fornication and the children of the watchers from amongst men, and cause them to go forth. So once again, you had the evil that men was committing, plus the evil that was produced from the watchers. All right. He says, and destroy the children of fornication and the children of the watchers from amongst men, and cause them to go forth. Send them one against the other, that they may destroy each other in battle. For length of days shall they not have, and no request that they make of thee shall be granted unto their fathers on their behalf. For they hope to live an eternal life, and that each one of them will live 500 years, right? So in other words, don't grant them no request, right? And it says, and Adonai said to Mikael, go and bind Simjaza and all his associates who have united themselves with women, so as to have defiled themselves with them in all their uncleanness. And when their sons have slain one another, and they have seen the destruction of their beloved ones, bind them fast for 70 generations in the valleys of the earth, to the day of their judgment and of their consummation. To the judgment that is forever and ever is consummated. So the destruction that the Most High was going to bring on the earth, he basically said they're going to witness it. They're going to witness their children being destroyed. All right. All right. So in those days, they shall lead off to the abyss of fire, and to the torment and the prison in which they shall be confined forever. Whosoever shall be condemned and destroyed will from henceforth be bound together with them to the end of all generations, and destroy all the spirits of the reprobate and the children of the watchers, because they have wronged mankind. Destroy all wrong from the face of the earth, and let every evil work come to an end, and let the plant of righteousness and truth appear, and it shall prove a blessing. The works of righteousness and truth shall be planted in truth and joy forevermore. So now, notice we always mention how Mashiach talks about the days of Noah, all right? and how the wickedness in that time is gonna, the wickedness during that time is gonna reflect the days of Noah. Well, also the judgment is, all right. Who were the children of the fallen in those days? Right? It's talking about the giants, those who ruled the earth, those who conquered the earth by force. They took what they wanted. They ate the flesh of men. They ate all of the food, took all the resources until they were used up. And they started to turn on the men after that. It's the same thing in this day. Who represents that in this day? The tyrants, the ones who taking everything by force, right? Drinking the blood of the saints, spilling the blood of the saints. It's the same thing. He says, and then shall all the righteous escape, and shall live till they beget thousands of children. And all the days of their youth and their old age shall they complete in peace. See, once again, we're getting back to the prophecies. And then shall the whole earth be tilled in righteousness, and shall all be planted with trees and be full of blessing. And all desirable trees shall be planted on it, and they shall plant vines on it. And the vine which they plant thereon shall yield wine in abundance. And as for all the seed which is sown thereon, each measure of it shall bear 1,000. And each measure of olives shall yield 10 presses of oil. And cleanse thou the earth from all oppression, and from all unrighteousness, and from all sin, and from all godlessness. All right, so he said, cleanse thou the earth from all oppression. Who was oppressing in those days? Talking about the sons and the offsprings of the fallen. Right? Who's Satan's seed today? All right, didn't he say he was going to make a full end of all of those nations that afflicted our people? He said all the nations that trod our people down will be delivered up to the sword. Same thing. It says, and cleanse thou the earth from all oppression and from all unrighteousness, and from all sin and from all godlessness, and from all the uncleanness that is wrought upon the earth, destroy from off the earth. And all the children of men shall become righteous, and all nations shall offer adoration and shall praise me, and all shall worship me, and the earth shall be cleansed from all defilement, and from all sin, and from all punishment, and from all torment, and I will never again send them upon it from generation to generation forever. All right. This is him calling the end from the beginning once again, letting them know what will be the end result of what was done during that time. Because what was done during that time still echoes into today. So this will be the end result of what the angels did during those ancient times. It also testifies to the hearts of men to continue perpetuating in those things. And it says, and in those days I will open the store chambers of blessing which are in the heaven, so as to send them down upon the earth over the work and labor of the children of men. And truth and peace shall be associated together throughout all the days of the world and throughout all the generations of men. Truth and peace. Right? This is one of the controversies that the Most High had with the land. No truth or no righteousness of the Most High. And we know pretty much everything they taught us has been based on conditioning, the conditioning that they want us to be in. All right. So let's see. I think I'm gonna conclude there tonight. That was, let's go back. It says the fall of the angels, the demoralization of mankind, and the intercession of the angels. All right, we're gonna conclude there tonight. And most high willing, tomorrow night is Wednesday night. So Brother Cleo will be on tomorrow night with KC. And so when we come back Thursday, most high willing, we're going to continue on, but we're going to get right into this. We have enough backdrop now to see that the book of Enoch is valid. We have a good history and backdrop of the first two subsections. And so now going forward, we can kind of move smoothly into it. So we're going to conclude there tonight. I want to thank you, brothers and sisters, once again for your time. Once again, let me get the email scrolling across the bottom. Salt of the Earth 144 at gmail.com. eRestore at gmail.com. Let me do something real quick. Brother Kadar's email is changed. All right. I think let me change that, matter of fact, right now. Okay. So this is what it is. Salt of the Earth 144 at gmail.com. eRestore at gmail.com. Morris Scales 28 at gmail.com. And Al Babir 9 at gmail.com. You got anything for us, just email us. All right, and we'll get those emails and we'll route them to the family the way they need to be routed. Also, go check out the website, trueebree.com, TRUEBREE.com. I want to thank you, brothers and sisters who have went on the site. I want to thank everybody who has been reaching out through Messenger, through email, giving us encouraging messages. That's greatly appreciated. Want to give a shout out to the brother Eric Tinsley, for all his encouragement and all the work that hopefully he'll be joining in to do with the family here in the near future. Shout out to the brother Jason Phillip McCauley, all right, for all his love and encouragement to the family. All that stuff means a lot, So I want to thank everybody for that, as well as everybody else in the chat who's been reaching out via email. Sister CC, shalom to you. I want to thank you for reaching out and keeping the family encouraged. Sister Pensy Lola, shalom to you. Got Sister SCR up in the chat. This is don't really get to see you often, so it's a blessing to see you in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Got the brother Davion Murphy in the chat. Shalom to you. Got the brother Smitty. Got the sister Sunny in the chat. It's everybody who chimed in. I didn't get a chance to greet. Sister Yvette Rivera. Sister Aniana Coleman. Notorious Hebrew. Only by his grace. Let's see. Eliyahu B. Cool J. Shalom and blessings to all of y'all. Nebiah Ben Yisrael. Shalom to you. Yeah, look like that's about everybody in the chat. Good to see everybody. Hope y'all have a blessed day. Hope y'all have a blessed night. I'm going to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to close out. Shalom and blessings. Be right back. Shalom, shalom. I want to thank everybody once again for spending your time with the family tonight and going through this. Like I said, this is a good way to end the night, and I decided to do this as a means to get in a routine. The book of Enoch is a book that I've read through many, many times, and so I'm familiar, like I said, with certain sections of it, but I haven't read through all of it. And so I'm doing this as an experiment. It's a lot of reasons why I'm doing this. You know, when we get into the record, we see that he has the first record ever written. And so the same way we examine through the scriptures that we know of commonly, you know, we should examine all of our records that same way. And I want to get into this book because when you get into the New Testament, the Apostle Paul and Peter talks a lot about things that were what it says ordained from the beginning. You know, there were a lot of things that were mentioned from the beginning. So when we think about the beginning, we have to really take that literally. You know, what does that mean? Then we find out our forefather Enoch has a record. He has the first record. All right. And so in examining that record, ironically, we find a lot of things that connect in prophecy. Knowing Israel wasn't a nation in Enoch's day, we still see that the record is speaking of a chosen people, an elect people. So we're going to get deeper into that. I want to thank everybody for your time and the support you give to the channel. Don't forget about, once again, the other platforms, KC, Kingdom Conversations, hosted by Brother Cleo. Look forward to seeing you brothers and sisters there tomorrow evening, most high willing. Also, you got Wake Up Jacob, Fridays, 7:30 p.m. Central. All right, you got Brother Kadar's channel. Brothers, make sure you like and subscribe over there. Like, sub, hit the notification bell on this channel, as well as my channel, Ibri Ben Yaakov, the beginner's channel. I'm sorry. Also, go visit trueebri.com when you get a chance. Get yourself something nice. And also, you brothers and sisters, continue to be on the lookout for the giveaways as well. Don't forget about the question we put out there today. I'm sure most of y'all probably forgot it by now, but I haven't. But go back and review the video if you get some time. Like and share this video. I want to thank you, brothers and sisters, for your time once again. Have a blessed night. Most high willing, I'll see you, brothers and sisters, tomorrow night. Kingdom Conversations. Shalom and blessings once again.